An exclusive look into the high-pressure life of Crown Princess Catharina-Amalia of the Netherlands. Between threats, increased surveillance, temporary exile, and disrupted student life, discover the poignant and little-known reality of the daily life of the woman who embodies the future of the Dutch monarchy. A thrilling, moving, and necessary account of the fragility of the royal destiny. Subscribe, share, and leave a comment to support independent content about European royal families. Activate the bell to never miss our upcoming captivating videos. Catharina-Amalia of the Netherlands, heir to the Dutch royal throne, is only 20 years old, yet she already lives with the kind of tension worthy of a political thriller. The eldest daughter of King Willem-Alexander and Queen Maxima, she embodies the future of a modern, popular monarchy, yet one that remains vulnerable to very real threats. What should have been a protected youth, a peaceful entry into public life, has abruptly transformed into a nightmare orchestrated by the country's most dangerous criminal networks. For several months, the princess has lived under the constant threat of kidnapping. Organized crime, particularly cartels such as the Macro Mafia, has cast a dark shadow over her personal safety. So much so that her movements are strictly controlled, her academic life disrupted, and her personal projects put on hold. In September 2022, as she begins her first year of studies at the University of Amsterdam, Amalia moves into an apartment shared with other students. She dreams of living a normal life, taking public transportation, and shopping on the street corner like any other young woman her age. But this dream is shattered in just a few weeks. Dutch intelligence discovers that she is on a list of potential targets for kidnapping by a highly influential gang. The authorities take the threat very seriously. The princess is immediately evacuated from her apartment to live again at Huis ten Bosch Palace, under close surveillance. The Dutch government, usually reluctant to make public statements on security issues, confirmed with sobriety but gravity that the princess was living in extremely difficult conditions. The usually discreet Queen Maxima appeared distraught at a press conference in Argentina, her native country, admitting that the situation was unbearable for their family. The image was poignant. A mother, sovereign but above all human, sharing her distress in the face of helplessness with the whole world. The University of Amsterdam, while expressing its support, understood that the princess's presence on its premises represented a risk, not only for her, but for all the students. Classes became impossible to follow under normal conditions. Social contact evaporated, student parties disappeared from the schedule, and solitude became the Crown Princess's new daily routine. The Dutch monarchy, so close to its people, is shaken. The entire country discovers that its future queen is living in hiding, isolated, due to criminal threats. The contrast is striking with the radiant image the royal family cultivated, a close-knit, modern, relaxed family, embodying a 21st century monarchy. The reality, however, is brutal. Dutch society is then entering a phase of introspection. How did we get to this point? How could a country considered safe, liberal, and tolerant expose its future sovereign to such danger? Security experts are sounding the alarm. The rise of organized crime in the Netherlands is a much deeper and more structural phenomenon than the population imagines. The cartels operating in the ports of Rotterdam and Antwerp now have the logistical, human, and financial resources to directly threaten the state. The threat looming over Amalia is a chilling symbol of this evolution. If even a princess, protected by the country's best security forces, is no longer safe, what about the average citizen? This collective questioning is a shockwave. The Dutch parliament is engaged in intense debates on how to respond to this crime that defies the state. King Willem-Alexander, usually reserved, decides to raise his voice and issues numerous firm statements on the need to defend democratic institutions against mafias. But behind the rhetoric, the daily life of a young woman is crumbling. Amalia can no longer go out alone. Every public appearance becomes a tense experience. Her official engagements are reduced to a bare minimum, her rare outings are scrutinized and guarded by impressive security measures. Spontaneity, freedom, and carefree attitude, all of this has disappeared. And yet, she keeps smiling. She continues, with remarkable dignity, to represent the monarchy. She graces ceremonies, tributes, official visits, with that calm grace that begins to make her much more than a princess, a figure of resilience. Queen Maxima, very close to her daughter, is extra vigilant. At her side, she accompanies her to the rare public events Amalia is allowed to attend. During national celebrations, she is seen walking discreetly by her side, her gaze constantly alert. The First Lady of the Netherlands is not just a worried mother. She has become a lioness, ready to do anything to protect her child. Amalia, however, remains silent. No statement, no public word about this ordeal. Her dignity is all the more striking. Her silence is a silent cry, a form of elegance in the face of the unspeakable. But in close circles, it is whispered that this situation is taking a heavy toll on her morale. Her childhood friends, her former classmates at the Zorgvliet Christian High School in The Hague, confide anonymously that Amalia is suffering from this withdrawn life, this constant insecurity, this impossibility of living like a normal young woman. In an attempt to catch their breath, the royal family occasionally organizes trips away from the country. Spain, Queen Maxima's home country, becomes a temporary refuge. It is said that Amalia finds a little peace there, away from prying eyes, away from threats. But these escapades remain exceptional. Reality always catches up with her. The Dutch press, very respectful, avoids publishing specific details about the security protocols surrounding the princess. Out of solidarity, but also out of awareness of the stakes. Journalists are content to note the absences, the silences, the closed faces during the rare appearances. The people, for their part, wonder, how can we protect this young woman who will one day wear the crown? How can we give her back a normal life? Is that even possible? The pressure is immense. Amalia can neither run away nor give up. She was born to reign. Her destiny is all mapped out, and she has accepted it with impressive maturity. Since her first official appearances, she has always demonstrated a keen sense of responsibility. But can so much be demanded of someone so young? Can a future queen be expected to endure without flinching a life under high threat? And yet, Amalia holds on. Despite the cameras, despite the fear, despite the nights of anguish, she continues to embody the hope of a solid, modern, and resilient monarchy. She is the promise of a royal future for women, anchored in reality, yet resolutely focused on the future. As her 20th birthday approaches, an entire generation looks to her with admiration, but also concern. What will her life be like in 5 years, in 10 years? Will she ever be able to live free? Get married, have children, go out without an escort? Or will she forever remain a prisoner of a destiny stolen by fear? This is Amalia's paradox. A princess at once close and distant, young but already marked by history, radiant but hunted. An heir to a kingdom at peace, yet threatened as if she reigned over a land at war. And you, do you think Amalia will one day be able to regain the freedom her own destiny currently denies her?